Greetings gamers, welcome to part number 55 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem for Genealogy of the Holy War, and in today's episode it is time to move a little bit forward, inching my way down south, and dealing with the Thracian army led by Coulter and friends. I actually think, Makov is the general here. I still have a lot to deal with here. Altena Coulter's group is right here. I kind of wish that I had gotten Julia down a little bit sooner. I think I'm actually going to rescue this guy with Julia. 3 cheers for Lord Seliph! It would be nice to give her another level up. Magic. Yeah, she was only able to get to the 4th arena. I think it might be possible after a few KOs. So what I kind of want to do with Julia is I kind of want her to deal with one of these whole groups by herself. The only way I'm going to be able to do that, though, is if I move back a little bit with some of my units. These guys here almost all exclusively have one range. So I think what I could do is I could actually move some of my units in such a way that I'm going to be able to deal with basically all of this group whilst ignoring this group. And the reason why is because I really want Julia to fight them. The problem is that I don't know that they're going to bother with her. I could at least try, but I really just don't know. Lester can go right here. Alright, Seliph. And Leaf. Everybody else is just going to move back and sort of hang back for the time being because, like I said, I kind of would really like Julia to get this experience points. About who's going to get this village, though, that's a very interesting question. I think Nana was the one I was going to give it to. Yeah, I think she is the candidate. For as long as anyone can recall, Thracia has wanted to claim this region as their own. And for just as long, House Leonster always stood in their way, wielding their holy lance Jabog to defend our lands. At least until Jabog was lost a decade ago in the Yi Desert. The Thracians ambushed and murdered Prince Quan, his wife Ethelyn, and their daughter Altena, as they crossed Yid, and the lance vanished. Their daughter Altena. The plot does thicken, doesn't it? Alright, so I'm going to put you here. No, I guess I'm not putting you there. So the majority of these guys will be able to attack Johan. I do not want Finn and friends in the range of any of these guys. So I'm just going to move back just a little bit. And Dermot can wait in the wings. So can Shannon. Arthur has quite the long way to go. Alright, so I think I'm going to go ahead and KO this guy with Fee. After I KO him with Fee, I can then sit on the village with her because I don't really need the village with good old Arthur. Unfortunately, I'm going to be wasting some gold when I do happen to visit the village with the thief ring. It was the legendary Draco-Knight Dane who founded Thracia all those years ago. With his heavenly lance Gungnir in hand, he dared to challenge the king of demons himself. Rumor has it that Nova, of the Crusaders' ancestor of the lords of the House Leonster, was in fact a sister to Lord Dayan. Patty, Aries, Tinny, Faval said, I don't think any of these units need to move. Patty, I guess. It wouldn't be half bad to steal some gold with her, but I just don't think I'm going to be able to do that, honestly. What I do think I have to do is I have to give all of this gold to a particular unit. So I think I'm going to use Nana to return her over the next turn. Lana needs gold. It would also be nice if Lana was paired. But she is not quite yet, especially because her pairing is Dermot, and Dermot swims in gold. The reason why I pair them is because then he can help her to repair all her broken staves and stuff like that. I kind of need the sleep staff repaired for the start of next chapter. I think that's going to be very possible, but I think it just depends on what I do with my units. This village probably would have been better given to Patty, honestly, though, because she would like the gold. I think, okay, Shannon and her are paired. So Shannon has 23,000 gold. He does not need this gold any further, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to Patty so that she can give it over to Lana next turn. And I think Lana is not in the castle yet. Oh, that's unfortunate. So it's actually going to be in a couple of turns. It doesn't really matter because it's just, it has to be done the next chapter or by the next chapter. It's not something that I need this chapter for sure. Ooh. So that is not at all a good thing. Is everything ready, my liege? Yeah, it's so ready, in fact, that I think I'm going to reset this turn, because the problem is that I really need those units to be coming after my units. I guess it would have just been better to have... Maybe they reach. Maybe they can still reach Julia, so I'll try it, and if they can't, then after this, I'm just going to have to reset.
We'll be closing in on Munster shortly. Let's waste no time in besieging them.
Hold, Coulter. Those are nothing more than common citizens standing in our way. Killing them would be the foulest of crimes. Wait here with the squad. I'll see if I can negotiate a surrender.
You know I can't do that. My orders come from over your head. You may spout all the lovey nonsense you wish, but the king forbids me to stay my hand.
Are you questioning a direct order from your commander and your princess, General?
These are my men, Princess. If you don't wish to partake yourself, then stand aside. Make yourself useful and watch our backs. Now then, is everyone ready? All hands prepare to strike Munster. Leave no survivors.
Coulter, get back here at once!
Ah, come on. You're attacking Ced instead of Johan? Yeah, of course, you know, Ced doesn't have weapon triangle on you like Johan will, but Ced also is a sage sitting on the gate. I guess that it might just be that they're hard-coded to go after the castle more than anything first. A miss? Are we joking? Yeah, because of that miss, he's not going to be able to get, I think, pretty much anybody else. Maybe one other unit he'll be able to attack, but that's pretty much it. And I'm almost 1,000% certain that Julia is not going to be able to reach even after she's danced for. Yeah. All of these guys attacking Ced is actually kind of a little bit of a shame. Alright, okay,
What a pity it is for you that this is when you die.
Yeah, I don't think you're killing anybody with a javelin. I don't even think with a javelin that guy would be a significant threat to somebody like Patty. Oh, I didn't mean to save there. So if I could put Julia here, then yes. The problem is that's not happening. So I can dance. I'm basically only doing this to see the distance. Yeah, so she'll be in the range of some, but not all. And I think that warrants a reset, unfortunately, because they're just going to go after Leonster and the other castles. All right, so this positioning should be much better. I had to go back and reset for the turn, so on and so forth, because I don't want these guys to fly so far away. I actually don't know if the other ones are still going to fly away, even though some are attracted over here in order to fight. So this might still be a little bit of a bust, but this is all I can really hope for, unfortunately. Otherwise, if they do happen to go over to Leonster, I'm going to have to reset again. And in that resetting, I'm going to just have to have Ced fight them all, which is very unfortunate, to say the absolute least, because I want... Yeah, this is what I thought. I want Julia to fight them, but I also don't want them to go and capture Leonster. Of course, I could technically warp Julia back to Leonster to have her defend it. That's not a bad idea.
Is everything ready, my liege? Yes. In fact, it's so ready I'm skipping this because I've already read it.
Alright, so Johann is the fighter here. And not critting is not good, because is that guy gonna even get out of the way? No. So the rest are gonna go for Ares, which is not great, to say the least. Alright. So it looks like my plan will be to warp Julia over to Leonster to have her defend that castle particularly. I'm going to have to return her first, and then warp her with Lana. Lana is not quite at the point where she needs to be in order to be doing all this supposed warping. This is one of the actual reasons why it's not a big deal to have your warper be somebody who only has 5 movement, because if Lana is at the home castle, what a pity it is for you. What a pity it is for you, buddy. You attacked Ares at 1 range? What is this?
My Thracia rise in glory.
Yeah, so your 5 move units with staves are actually still very useful if they can use the warp staff, because they can just sit at home and warp. Alright, so looks like I'm gonna have to return you first. I'm also going to be able to return Patty this turn as well. Okay. Brave Bow. Lester is great for this little fight here. Wind Sword. Ooh, a crit leaf. You actually needed that. This is one of the reasons why I don't really mind so much that he doesn't have so much magic. HP +2. Are you joking? And the reason why that is because he still uses the magical swords pretty well, due to the fact that he can crit and just bypass enemies completely. But for the most part, he doesn't end up really being able to do much with that crit. or with that weapon. I guess I'll just wait here. I didn't really want to, but that's just how it's going to have to go, isn't it? Yeah, these guys are not promoted, so they can't go across the mountain. Peaks are not something you can go across unless you are a flyer or a brigand, and you don't get any brigands. But the mountains you can move across if you have a unit like Selith, who's a promoted mounted unit. I think your footlocked units can go above them or on the mountains, but I'm not too sure on that one. Definitely not something you could quote me on, that's for sure. Said will be taking over the defensive Munster after I get rid of these units over to the left. All right. So, yeah, Lana is not quite there yet, but it doesn't matter. I can actually go and visit the arena first and see how well I do. I know this guy is not going to be an easy fight. Yeah, and the reason why he's not going to be an easy fight is because she doesn't yet have Miracle. So that will have to be a little bit of a reset, unfortunately. Alright, time to depart the castle with you. And I'll warp you to Leonster. I'm almost certain that's where they're going. It makes the most sense for them to go to Leonster. And the rest of my units here just need to continue being useful. Arthur needs to keep running. Fee also needs to run down, but you have to be very careful. So this is a thief, a legitimate enemy thief. And what's funny about that is that this thief can actually steal all of your gold, and will steal all of your gold if you get hit by this thief. It's pretty devastating. It's one of the reasons why I do bring... I do like having the Brave Lance on Fee, because I don't think there's pretty much any other way to deal with him. Relatively speaking, without getting in his range entirely. It would be nice... It would be nice if I didn't have to get this thief band on Arthur. The problem is that Arthur, sure, he can buy it. But do I really want to? Would be nice, though, to have it for Fee's need of Paragon. I might end up doing that. I might end up stealing it, or taking with her instead of Arthur, but I'm not entirely sure. Because it's just one of those things where if I end up doing that, it's going to basically take a chunk out of Arthur's money. It's not really that big of a deal. I think he would be fine, but it's still kind of a bit annoying. Alright, resetting on that too, okay? My mishandling of movement is not going so well this chapter. Let me just throw it out there. Ares, sit next to your woman. And the Wind Sword, yet again, hopefully Leaf crits, and he did. He has a pretty decent chance to do so. It is basically like he has permanently 27 kills, or 77 kills on any weapon he has. Not really, actually, because I believe how crit works on weapons is it adds the crit above 50 to your skill, and then that's your critical. So I guess it would be more or less like literally just 50 kills on his weapon. But either way, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so I could actually stop all of these guys right now if I really wanted, but I kind of don't, because if Julia can get them as experience points, it would really be great.
Lord Leif, the protection of the Peninsula Realm is our duty as House Leonster's remnants. We aren't in for an easy battle, but no matter what happens, we must persevere. I know, Finn. I've always dreamed that this day, the day of Leonster's freedom, would come. I'll do all I can to bring peace to the peninsula and save the people from King Bloom's tyranny, to fulfill Father's final wishes at last. And if I need to lay down my life to make our dream a reality, then so be it. Please, my lord. It ill befits a future king to do something so rash. You mustn't say such things.
You're right. Sorry, Finn. I know how hard you had to work to protect me from the Empire's pursuit in my youth. I recall how often you'd let yourself starve just so I wouldn't have to go without food. All my life you've made sacrifice after sacrifice for my sake, and only now do I understand this. I'll always be grateful for all you've done, Finn.
My lord, the Thracian region has been plagued by strife for generations, but your father dared to dream of unifying it under a lasting peace. He may be gone, but you yet still live, and so too does the hope of fulfilling his dream. Only you stand a chance of unifying Thracia.
I thought that conversation actually yielded something, but apparently it doesn't. Nana needs to talk to Ares. Fee needs to talk to Ced. I want to say that some of these do yield some stuff, so Nana and Ares, where are you at? Yes, I actually can go ahead and mend you up, then talk, which would be nice.
Hey, you're Ares, right?
I am. What do you want?
I've been hearing how you're the son of Lord Eldigan. Is there any truth to that?
There is. Of what concern is it yours?
Oh, I knew it was true. I'm Nana. I'm the daughter of Rakusus, Lord Eldigan's sister.
Can this be? Are you truly my aunt's child?
Of course I am. You know, my mother was really worried about what happened to you. It must have been her search for you that brought us to Leonster all those years ago.
My father knew well that the storm clouds of a brutal civil war lurked across Augustria. I was a mere infant and my mother was in poor health, so he bade her to seek refuge with her parents in Leonster. Also, Leonster too fell foul of a war of its own, and my mother lost her life to the Empire's invasion.
That's where Jarbaro comes in, right?
Indeed. Jabaro found me and took me in as his own, and with his mercenary corps I traveled the world and learned the art of war.
So that's why I've never found you before. Listen, Ares, my mother left me something to give to you, if we ever met.
Oh? What is this? Is this father's?
It is. It's a letter from Lord Eldigan, and it's addressed to you, Ares.
I can't believe it.
This should sort everything out. It says your father and Lord Sigurd were the closest of friends and held each other's deepest trust. This never changed, no matter what.
So it says. Wow, I've been so wrong for all this time.
I hope you'll look after Lord Seliph, Ares. He really is depending on you.
I will, I promise you. Say, Nana, how would you like a quick lesson in swordplay? Here, pay close attention. Strength +2, defense +2. Yeah, so she actually gets a pretty sizable buff from that little conversation. I do appreciate that quite a lot. I think Fee and Ced talking is potentially useful. Faval and Seliph, unfortunately, are not going to get their conversation because I decided to send Faval back. That might be a little bit of a misstep, but it's honestly whatever. I could not be bothered to care. I really couldn't. And Fee can just sit right here and wait. Or Patty. Patty has 39,000 gold. That's going to be so much for Lana. Lana's going to appreciate it more than you realize. She needs every drop of it for her wonderful staves. Oh, I didn't mean to leave somebody in the way of these guys. Come on. I'm wasting experience points on Julia.
Well, at least I'm not KOing here. So at that very least, I can give it to somebody like Johan or whatever. Alright, it does really appear that they are going for Leonster. Come on and crit. And he did. Very nice, Johan. Alright, this ruffian is going to continue burning the village, unfortunately. I'll be there shortly, but not quite yet. Alright, so in this particular case, before I depart with him, he's level 18, 17, 18, 16. I think I'm going to go ahead and give this to you. Perfect. Depart. A lot of healing can be done, so I'm going to go ahead and start that up. Leaf having the recover staff is just such an awesome boon. Being able to have a mounted recover user is insane. It's unfortunate that he will never have enough magic to truly be viable concerning concerning like a fortify staff, but it's really honestly not that big of a deal. Return you. Goodbye, Patty. You have outlived your usefulness. And there's another level up for Nana. I do believe she was capable of beating the arena, which is kind of actually really great, especially considering the fact that she wasn't able to use... Okay, so she has one arena level left. I don't think she's getting that. I think it's Xenon? Yeah. Considering, you know, she didn't have the crit Brave Sword, that's pretty cool. Alright, so the rest of my units are going to move out. And I will dance for these guys. Alright, Seliph. Anybody else need healing? Not really. But what I could do is just recover on anybody else who has low, you know, a little bit of chip damage on them, so that I can get some experience points, because recover is actually pretty insane on the experience points level. Unfortunately, Leaf isn't really getting any good levels right now, especially because he needs a couple more points of speed. Just 2 more points of speed, Leaf, and you will have absolutely everything you need. The HP is fine, though. He actually needs every drop of HP he can get. Alright, Julia. Lana. Time to give gold. Yeah, so this is obviously, in my humble opinion, the most important way to use the Thief in this particular generation, is giving gold to your staff wielders to repair these kinds of weapons, because these are actually kind of very insane. The Sleep and the Silent Staff are very good in Gen 2. They're only passably useful in Gen 1. The Silent Staff is basically useless after Deidre departs. And the Sleep Staff has some uses, but the issue is that it's pretty much impossible to use it unless you either give it to Deidre and use it on Deidre on her final chapter that she is able to, or you have a promoted Ideen, and you have to have a promoted Ideen very early, by the way, which isn't that difficult because stabs give so much experience points. You could just warp spam, but have a promoted Ideen by the time of Chapter 3, or Chapter 2, I should say, and then have her KO the boss who has the sleep staff. Then she can use it later on in the generation. Otherwise, it's kind of not really responsible to buy it on her at full uses, because full use sleep staff is 30,000 gold for single use. And it makes sense why that is, because even though the sleep staff isn't anywhere near as powerful in this game as it is in Thracia, or even other games particularly, because it only has a range of 10, it's still powerful. Brave Lance. So this is potentially a very bad situation here. I could get hit, and if I'm hit, I'm going to have to reset, because Fee cannot afford to lose all her gold. Yeah, she was hit. Yeah, 32,703 gold was stolen, so unfortunately that is going to have to be a reset. But with that in mind, I want to thank you for joining me. This has been the fullness of this episode. Fee's gold is stolen, and I have to get it back. I want to thank you for joining me yet again. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, like and subscribe, depending on your platform. Leave a comment down below, and while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.